Not playing Ultimate Fan? A mix between FPL and FIFA Ultimate Team. You need to get involved.
Each week there is a big prize pool to be won during all the weekend Premier League matches.
Choose 7 cards from your maximum 24-man squad and let your players and team do the rest. Claim your weekly pack drop, select your squad and rack up as many points as you can to be in with a chance of claiming a share of the prize.
And don't forget to subscribe and enhance your chance of being victorious with access to UF Plus, which outlines behind-the-scenes stats, most popular player picks, injury news and podcasts across the week.
There is also a free card to be won in the UF Clash every single week, with all players entered into a mini league of 5. And the winner is going to be awarded an additional card to add to their squad on Tuesday's pack drop. Stay tuned for our UF squad selection every week on Don Robbie and see who we pick ahead of the upcoming game week.
You must be over 18 plus to play and T&Cs apply. Head over to ultimatefan.com or click the link below for more details.
Hi guys and welcome to the weekend Premier League preview show. We're back here at the best stadium in the whole of England. Might not have the best football, but at least we've got something. To preview, of course, Spurs versus Manchester United amongst all the other Premier League games. Flex is still reeling.
I'm not emotionally ready yet, but I have to be.
He's going to get ready and we're going to get stuck into it. Okay, so there's only one place to start. The game this weekend, Spurs versus Manchester United. Should we talk about what happened last week?
Well, because this is a preview show for this week. It's not a review show. I believe you've done that.
Have you
already.
Forgotten about it then? Is it put to bed? Was it a one-off?
Well, definitely weren't a one-off, but I want to look forward.
Okay, all right. I mean,
you can see what sort of mood I'm in, isn't it?
I can see the mood you're in. I can see also how much you've aged. I mean, if anyone wants to get closer to all these grey
No one says it. No one says anything. It just Alba does it, but when I do it, it's a problem.
All right, let's look ahead to this game this weekend.
Yeah.
What are you expecting from Manchester United? They've got to come back with something.
I swear to you, I have no idea. I have that sounds cliche. Like, okay, well, we're doing a show. We've got to talk about it. What do you mean? That's what you're going to say? I don't have a clue. I am so emotionally drained from the past week, and it's like now we are turning our attentions to the game, and it's a game where we're in free fall, leaking goals all over. It doesn't matter what caliber of team we play against. It doesn't matter about the form of the other team. It doesn't matter. We're so easy to play against. We're conceding so many goals. You guys are in a bad patch of form yourselves, but I just feel it'll be a draw. Honestly, of course we can beat you. We can beat you. But I think Ollie will be thinking, oh, wow, can't believe I'm still here. I escaped that one. And he will want a reaction from the players. As a United fan, I think we do have to remember there is a game and a big game. And the players, that's one thing I will say, the players will want to get on that pitch and have a reaction. I don't doubt that. I'm not one of the fans that are like, the players just want to turn up and lose. They don't care.
No,
they do care.
I totally agree.
It's just not working for them.
I mean, you mentioned the fact that United have been leaking goals. I mean, you've already conceded 10 in October. The month isn't over yet, so that could go up if any of our strikers would like to find their form. But I have to say, you have a great record against Spurs. I know last time we played, this time kind of last year at Old Trafford, we beat you 7-1.
6. Don't try and add more in just because we just got battered 5.
Just wanted to check.
I'm still remembering.
But look, you do have a great record against us. However, Spurs are at home. These are the games that we have to focus on and also have to win because we haven't been convincing. Have you seen anything from Spurs that makes you have any fear about coming here?
Fear is probably the wrong word, but I think with how poorly we're playing, I would be a really naive Man United fan to say Spurs are in crap form, even though we're playing badly. Son, Moura and Kane can't score against us, can't create chances against us. I'm not expecting you to, because you guys, that's what I'm saying, it's really nervy for you. If you lose this, that's 3-3 as well, isn't it? You know, a bad patch of form, almost like Ollie and Nuno are that Spider-Man meme. You know, when they're both looking at each other. Who's who? We both could get sacked here. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a good thing we both can't lose today. That's how I think they will be looking at it.
Well, they're calling it the El
Sackico.
However,
exactly.
I can't foresee Nuno going anywhere. I mean, how many more managers can Spurs?
It's better for you. That's the worst thing about this game. Like, we're worse than you, and I don't mean by the team that we have. I mean by the situation we're in, and we should be in for the resources we've had and spent. At least Nuno's in his first season. You look at your squad. Even Tottenham fans, I think, will probably say we didn't really invest. Our biggest thing was keeping Harry Kane.
The squad is finished. The squad's
not great. So I think you're at where you kind of kind of should be with this squad, really. So he's got time. Ollie is in a complete different ballgame.
Especially when you think about how we were talking about, at the start of the season, Ronaldo, Sancho, Varane,
No
we were talking
excuses.
about you guys, you should be pushing for the title. You're so far off of that. But things do turn around very, very quickly in football. And if let's say Ollie does get the sack in the next few weeks, and let's say someone like Zidane or Conte comes in, we could be looking at a very different United the second half of the season.
True.
But just to touch on what you were saying about Nuno, he's lost 4 out of his first 9 Premier League matches as Spurs manager. The only manager to lose more of his first 10 in Charles was Christian Gross in 97-98, who lost 5, and we all know how that turned out. So predictions for this one?
Draw. 1-1.
1-1. I mean, Spurs never usually draw.
Do they not?
We don't. We really don't ever draw games. We usually just lose. But I'm actually going to go with the draw as well on this one. I think it's going to be 1-1.
Yeah. I think if we concede the first goal, though, I never like backing up thinking we're going to lose. I never back us to lose. I never predicting we're going to lose. But I think if we concede the first goal, confidence could be at an all-time rock bottom, and I think that could be it. Okay, well, we'll have to see. But make sure, guys, that you check this game out. It's on live on Don Robbie at 5:30 on Saturday. Moving on. Yeah, let's move on. Leicester versus Arsenal. Leicester on the back of 2 really good wins. Obviously, first beating you lot, and then of course beating Brentford last week. Arsenal on the up as well. They nicked that draw late on against Palace, deservedly not. But then of course they had a good result against Aston Villa. What do you think about this game? Yeah, it's this is I think for Arsenal, who are building, they haven't lost in 8 games?
Yeah, it's 8 games now. Yeah.
Building some confidence under Arteta. I think this is a good test to see where they're at, because Leicester are kicking into form. Saw how they beat us up, to say as it is, they beat us up. And at Brentford, which even when Liverpool went there, 3-3, tough.
Yeah,
when Chelsea went
really
there
tough.
last week before, tough. And Brentford looked quite unlucky actually not to get even more out of that game, or to get anything out of that game. So I think this is a good test for Arsenal. Leicester will be confident. They're starting to kick into gear. They're starting to get confident. They're starting to score goals. And Arsenal, I like how Arteta's just managed to calm it down a little bit.
Take the pressure off.
Take the pressure off himself, and by himself. Not that he was imminently going to be sacked, I don't believe that, but he's just bought himself. He's got more buy-in time.
I think the North London derby was a very big turning point for Arsenal.
Yeah.
And a big confidence booster, because they, that was the first time they've actually seen them play well.
Yeah, but even after that, they went back.
Villa.
But then in between that, you look at the game against Palace. It made a lot of Arsenal fans start saying, this is why we're not making progress. And then he goes and puts in that type of performance, or they go and put in that type of performance against Villa, and which was the more difficult game on paper. I think that so they're basically Arsenal doing this, and I think if they can beat Leicester, which if they do that, they'll have to be really good on a day to do that.
Yeah, especially away from home
they can keep progressing.
However, Leicester striker Jamie Vardy has scored more Premier League goals against Arsenal than he has any other side. That's 11.
Come on, Vardy.
Yeah, only Wayne Rooney has scored more against the Gunners, which would be 12. I mean, what a season Jamie Vardy's having.
He's just incredible, isn't it? I think I said this with Pippa on when we was outside West Ham before on doing that preview show, and they was about to play someone, and I was like, it's like he's getting better as he's getting older.
He's 34 now.
Brilliant.
34.
He's still just as quick as ever. He's as energetic as ever. He plays a high tempo game.
Yeah.
His finishing's on point, and it doesn't matter who he's against. He's a handful.
Yeah.
Absolute handful.
And also for Leicester now, Patson Daka is finally clicking into gear.
Yeah,
It has
really
taken
good.
some time, but he looks really, really good. Is that kind of looking ahead as predecessor for Jamie
I think
Vardy?
so, yeah. I mean, there's only going to be a certain amount of years that Jamie Vardy can keep going on, and that's testament to him that he's still at the top level.
Yeah.
Not, when you get to that age, you can easily be displaced by a young up-and-coming talent, but he's kept his performance level so high that it's very difficult for Brendan Rodgers to do that. But Patson Daka looked good. He scored 4 goals against Spartak Moscow, I think it was. Brilliant finishes as well, and he looks really good and scored after that as well. So, yeah, I think if they both start, because Leicester have been playing like a 5 at the back as well, depending on who they're playing against. If they both start, Arsenal could be in for a long afternoon.
Yeah, let's just talk about Arsenal for a sec, because Emil Smith-Rowe has caught so many headlines since he kind of burst onto the
Good
scene.
player, man, I like
a lot lately. I mean, he's really doing the business, isn't he? Their young players are finally starting to show through. Him, Saka. Obviously, they played well against Leeds the other night. You see Nketiah, involved. It's looking quite promising for Arsenal in that sense.
It is. I think that's the one thing. What's buying Arsenal and Arteta even more time. The fact that even if you're not a fan of Arsenal, you can look at that squad and say it's very young. The average age of it, I think, could be the youngest in the Premier League, if not one of the most youngest in the league. And you can't look at, even as a rival fan, you can't look at players like Smith Rowe and Saka, these kind of youngsters that are coming through. Even Tommy Yasu's young, Ben White's young, Gabriel's young, Lukonga looks decent. You have to say they've got a good core of young players, and you don't know what to expect from them, but they're looking like they're kicking on to top levels. But I like Emma Smith Rowe, man. He's developing really well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really well.
Leicester have won 4 of their last 7 against Arsenal. So predictions with that in mind.
Arsenal just starting to get it together. Leicester.
I think there's goals in
Draw.
there. Do you think
2-2 draw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 3-2 Leicester. I think there's goals in this game. I still think Leicester have enough quality. Leicester kind of are the type of team for me that like play till the whistle.
Absolutely.
They literally
Trust me, I know.
until that whistle goes.
Yeah, 2-2, 80th minute, and they still beat us 4-2.
Yeah, and I sometimes feel with Arsenal that they dip in their concentration, similar to Spurs at times.
Yeah.
So I feel that being away from home, having the home crowd there. Also, I think it's the 3-year anniversary of unfortunately when they lost their chairman, Leicester. So I think that they'll, the KP.
I see why you've gone with that. Yeah, I definitely agree with the goals. I just feel like Arsenal might have got enough in them at the moment and this positive run to certainly not lose. But like I said, I do back Leicester to not lose at home.
Okay.
So I think something's got to give. 2-2 draw.
Okay, we shall see. Okay, let's move on for Aston Villa versus West Ham. Let's talk about Aston Villa. No wins in the last 3 Premier League games. I think that's losses to Spurs, Wolves, Arsenal. It's not looking too rosy, life after Jack Grealish, is it?
It's not, and I've given them a lot of praise in different periods when they've looked like they're turning the corner post Jack Grealish, and I like the team they've built. And I still look at the team, and Villa fans will probably feel the same because they see it week in, week out more than I do. You just feel a little bit like, this team's way better than this, They're just not clicking.
They have got quality though.
That's what I mean. They've got the quality.
I think they spent the Grealish money fairly well.
Yeah, they have, and it's just not happening for them right now. That first half display against Arsenal was so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. Not to take away anything from Arsenal because their energy was good, their tempo was good, but Aston Villa were particularly bad. I think back to how Villa played against Man United, and maybe it's more how poor my team are, but they were organised. They were running in the channels. They were difficult to find holes in. 5 at the back, and they tried it against Arsenal and got absolutely rinsed at half time, and then they had to change it. When they did change it, they looked a bit better, but they just look short of confidence. They look short of like it's a new team that he's assembling, so that it's like you can tell it's a new team.
But it is a new team, and I guess it does take time for players to gel and know and have life after Jack Grealish when they've been so reliant on that.
Yeah.
However, I've always thought that Villa were all right at home. It was just away from home that they struggled, but clearly not. West Ham, obviously coming off the win in that London derby against Spurs. How did you feel West Ham did in that game?
I feel like they did. Yeah, they were organised. Again, you lot didn't really.
I think the first half. I think Spurs were the better team
ages.
in the first half, but second half.
They rode the early kind of 20-25 minutes, and then they started coming into the game, and there just wasn't much in it. And then that set pieces, they score a hell of a lot of goals from set pieces. West Ham do.
Yeah.
They're on a high now as well from the Carabao Cup, knocking out City on penalties.
Absolutely.
So I think this is a really difficult game for Villa. It's not getting any easier for Villa because to go to West Ham is always a tough away day.
They're at home.
West Ham are at home.
West Ham are at home.
That's what I mean. So so for Villa to go there, anyone to go to West Ham, it's always tough to walk away with a W from there. But they're playing well in Europe. They're managing that well. They're changing up the team for Carabao Cup. They've knocked us out the Carabao Cup and Man City by changing with their second team. And then they're going to be completely ready for Villa. I see a West Ham win on this one.
Yeah, and also, Aston Villa are winless in their last 6 Premier League meetings with West Ham. So I think you're probably right there. So what was your prediction?
2-1 West Ham.
2-1 West Ham. Okay, I'm going to go. See, I hate betting against Villa when they're at home, but I think I might match you. And I think
Villa are at home.
Villa are at home.
I thought you said West Ham were at home.
No, Villa are at home. I'm going to go. I think I'm going to match you. I'm going to go.
Oh, Villa are at home. That does change it. No, do you know? I'm still going to stick with my prediction.
I'm going to match you. I'm going to go 2-1 as well to West Ham.
2-1 West Ham. Okay.
Yeah, 2-1 West Ham. But I still think Villa will put in a much better performance than they did against Arsenal. Let's remaining fixtures of this weekend. So starting with Newcastle versus Chelsea. Newcastle coming off that draw after they lost to Spurs. Chelsea, I think they won, didn't they?
Norwich 7-0,
I think
mate.
they won.
Jesus, wow.
I mean, that was a proper spanking, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was. Norwich, I mean, I know what to talk about Norwich, but they got really dealt with against Chelsea, and Chelsea without, you know what I mean, Lukaku for a few games, and Timo Werner, and there was no issues.
Mason Mount springing into action.
Mason Mount hat-trick.
Nice little hat-trick for him to get his confidence up.
Yeah.
Newcastle though, I mean, obviously the takeover's happened now, we've learned how to deal with it.
Take over all you want, but if the players are still the same.
Are they going to be in the Premier League?
Exactly.
At the end of this season?
Newcastle have got, and they obviously still, as we're recording, don't have a manager. They've got interim until they sort out who they're going to get. And against Palace, they were poor.
Yeah.
They were poor. I mean, Callum Wilson scores an unbelievable goal out of nothing. Top corner, overhead kick, fantastic. Other than that, Palace, again, I know we're not talking about them, we will in a bit. Should have, Benteke had the chances to win the game. So they were very fortunate not to even lose that game. But confidence-wise, good to get a point for them, but Chelsea, nah. Where is it? At Stamford Bridge?
Yeah, no, it's at St James's Park. So this is another opportunity to show the new
Even you
owners.
lot beat them at St James's Park with all the noise.
Wow.
And they scored after 2 minutes.
I know.
You under pressure, and then you just switched it on.
Didn't look like it was going to be our day. But anyway, all right, predictions for this one.
Chelsea 3, Newcastle 1.
Okay, I like that prediction. I'm going to go Chelsea 4.
Oh, wow.
I know. I just don't want to match you. I'm going to go Chelsea 4, Newcastle 1.
Okay.
Manchester City versus Crystal Palace. City knocked out the cup the other night.
Yeah. The season's over.
The season's over.
Cracks are appearing.
How are they going to survive that Carabao Cup? What do you make of this one?
On Palace, I like what they're doing. I've said it almost on every show now. I like what Vieira's doing. Unlucky not to. They just need that final part of their performance to see things over the line. They're doing all the basics right. They're working hard. They're creating chances.
They're building nicely.
They're building nicely.
Yeah.
They're just being wasteful.
Yeah.
It's been really wasteful, and that must be so frustrating for the Crystal Palace fans because they're looking at it thinking we're nearly there to getting some good results. If they turned a few of those last-minute draws against, what was it, Brighton, Leicester, Arsenal, you know. And then another one against Newcastle, they'd be having a completely different season. So they're nearly there, but this is a different ball game.
Yeah, it's a different ball game. Of course, Man City putting 5 past Brighton the other day. Yeah. And Brighton have had arguably quite a good season. I believe it was, was it 4? 4 or 5?
4-1.
Whatever it was, 4 or 5
Yeah.
before Brighton, who have again had a good season so far. So it just shows you City are in a whole different remit. Again, going about their business very quietly, as they always do at the top of the table. Prediction?
3-1 City.
3-1 City.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna make it smaller than that. I'm gonna go 2-0.
2-0.
2-0 City.
Because Palace, you know, they're playing well enough to not get absolutely ruined.
Yeah.
I think they can give a good account of themselves.
It's just whether or not they'll get a goal at City. I'm not sure. Burnley versus Brentford.
Burnley are in trouble, man.
I would just like to say, I
fighting.
always say that Burnley are in trouble.
Yeah.
And you always knock me for it. But I think I'm correct.
They are. They're not as good as down. I wouldn't say that. They're down there. And they've got to show fight.
They are struggling.
They are struggling. They are actually scoring a few goals as well. The new signing that they got, Cornet, looks good.
Yeah,
he's scoring goals. But they need more, man. They're not keeping any clean sheets.
Knocked out the cup the other night by Spurs, somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow.
So for all the moaning you're doing, you're getting a couple wins.
Don't get in Spurs with me. Brentford, however, I mean, we spoke about it earlier, how they've been at home, which has been really good, despite the odd result again last week against Chelsea and Leicester.
Yeah.
However, I feel that they probably would have enough, maybe, to get a result there, or at least a draw.
They can beat Burnley. You do look at it in a draw vibe kind of comes out.
They have got a lot of injuries though, Brentford.
Yeah, they do. But I watched their game against the highlights against Leicester.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Brentford. The same thing against Chelsea as well. How they never scored against Chelsea in the second half. And then with when it was at 1-1 or even when it was 0-0 against Leicester, plenty of chances.
Yeah.
Just can't hit the target or just keep a save in it. They're nearly there.
I think the injuries might play a part in it potentially this weekend.
I'm gonna back Brentford to win that.
Okay.
I'm gonna back Brentford to win that 2-1.
Okay, I'm gonna go 1-1 for that game. Liverpool versus Brighton. I mean, I know it's still a touchy subject, but I mean Liverpool, they are just unstoppable at the moment. Unstoppable.
Yes, next. Yeah.
Mo Salah is in the form of his life. I mean, I think it's what was that stat we had before about Premier League hat-tricks?
Yeah.
First player in however many years to do so.
Yeah.
Away from home. I mean, it's just quite incredible. They seem unstoppable at the moment. And Brighton going to Anfield is a very tough fixture. isn't it, for Brighton?
I bet you they put up a better fight than what we did. But yeah, you look at how well Brighton have been doing, but look when City came.
Yeah.
Like, there's just levels.
Yeah.
There's just levels, and Brighton fans will know that. I think they'll be in for a difficult afternoon at Anfield. I really do. I think 3-0 Liverpool.
Okay, I'm going to go 4-1 Liverpool.
Yeah.
I still think that Brighton will get a goal somehow. Again, they were knocked out the cup as well yesterday.
Yeah.
Watford versus Southampton.
Watford, mate, changed the manager. 5-2 they beat up Everton.
That was
5-2.
an insane game.
Incredible.
Insane.
And it was 2-1 in like the last 10 minutes of the game.
Josh King masterclass coming off the bench.
Masterclass. Don Ranieri. Do you know what I mean? Don Ranieri, mate. Who are they playing against?
Southampton.
Is it at Watford?
It is at Watford.
Southampton are struggling.
Yeah.
I fancy Watford there, mate, off the back of a big win against Everton. Confidence high, Josh King buzzing, Dennis doing his thing, João Pedro now starting to do his thing, Sarr getting in. They're just starting. You hope that would start to get their players going. And Southampton are in the dumps at the moment, really, really struggling to win football matches.
There's little to sing home about, really.
Little to sing home about. And they lost on penalties as well to Chelsea midweek. So I'm going to go for a Watford win. I'm going to go for Watford 2-0.
Okay, I'm going to go Watford. I'm going to match you. I'm going to go Watford 2-0 as well.
Yeah.
Norwich versus Leeds. I mean, can we just? I know it's early, but can we just admit that Norwich are going down? Surely they are going down.
You would imagine
at this moment in time.
Sorry, any Norwich fans, you're probably thinking the same thing.
We
don't want to be disrespectful to any club.
We had high hopes,
but you are really, really struggling. But Leeds are really, really struggling.
Yeah, they are really struggling.
And Bielsa, I saw some stuff, in the media saying that some Leeds fans were like, Bielsa would walk before he got sacked and stuff like that.
Didn't they just give him a new deal not too long ago?
I think they did, yeah. That could be a draw as well, But Norwich are particularly bad. I think draw.
Yeah.
Leeds have been awful this season.
Yeah, they absolutely have.
So I think I'm going to go with, might have been 0-0.
Okay, I'm going to go with 1-1.
0-0 I'm going to go with.
Okay, all right, so pretty even there. Yeah. And lastly, Wolves versus Everton.
Ooh.
I mean, Everton have
started to struggle a little bit, getting a bit of a wobble. Since Man United, mate, they've been a bit, since they beat us.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep thinking it was a win because it felt like we lost,
yeah.
But they drew against us. But since then, they've been a bit wobbly. After the manner of their defeat, though, because it was so bad, players were making awful mistakes. They were bumping into each other. I feel like there should be a reaction. But Wolves, on the other hand, are starting to get their acts together under their new manager.
They've looked a lot better in the last.
They've looked a lot better in the last few games. So I think Wolves will win that. I think Wolves will win that 2-1.
Okay, I am going to. I mean, Everton have to give a result. I'm going to go 2-2 on this one. Yeah, I think they're both quite similar.
2-2. Yeah.
Okay, so that is all from us for this week's weekend Premier League preview. Of course, we'll be back on Monday, myself and Pippa, for the weekend roundup, and you'll see us again next week. Flex might be in an even worse mood.
I might not turn up next week.
He might. We had to get him out of isolation just to show his face today. So we will see you next week. Enjoy the games.